To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here on Tech Today. Exclusives all the way on the show. We start off, of course, with the Microsoft Surface Go 3. Is it a true bang for your buck? We also have a special conversation lined up with Technical Guruji. That's right, Technical Guruji here on Tech Today. And there's a lot more on this special show. Join me as we tech it out. The Microsoft Surface Go 3. This must be the first time you're seeing it on Indian television. In fact, this is the first time you're seeing it anywhere exclusively on Tech Today. Is it a true bang for your buck? Let's find out on Unbox Today. Ready, set, let's go. When I see these ultra-portable, two-in-one laptop, tablet sort of hybrid options, I get excited. Frankly, when you're on the go and you don't want to carry a clunky piece of hardware like the MacBook or any other Windows laptop, this can come in handy for basic use. This isn't an apples to apples comparison. The right contender to the Surface Go 3 is something which is a very similar form factor, which is the iPad Air. Now, the iPad Air with its nearly 10.9-inch screen, almost an 11-inch screen, and this with its 10.5-inch screen seem like two rivals, right? But there's a lot that's different and still a lot that's similar about both devices. So what's the point of a traditional unboxing where we're giving you a traditional tech review? Let's pit this against the iPad Air because that seems to be the closest in terms of form factor, especially when you pair it with the Magic Keyboard. The iPad Air and the Magic Keyboard seems to be or should have been a laptop replacement, but there were pitfalls given the operating system. iPad OS has its restrictions. The Windows OS and a full-fledged Windows OS experience, Windows 11 straight out of the box, is very interesting. Now, the way that Apple looks at the iPad Air, they give you a 64 GB and then straight a 256 GB version. There's no 128, and that's the complaint amongst a lot of tech enthusiasts. Well, Windows seems to have done things differently from Apple. They've given you different models with different specifications. So now, obviously with an iPad, you have an A14 chip in the iPad Air. With Microsoft's Surface Go 3 devices, you have a 10th Gen Intel Pentium Gold, 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of eMMC storage. So it's not going to be that fast. That's the base model, retailing at 43,000 rupees. And then it goes up into the Intel 10th Gen i3, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of eMMC. That's a little bit more expensive. And then, of course, the top-end spec is the 10th Gen Intel Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage SSD. That costs 58,000 rupees. But of course, when they're charging you 58,000 rupees, that is for the device along with the keyboard. Now, this type cover keyboard that comes along with the Surface Go 3 device is quite a delight to use. Obviously, this comes with a stand which makes it very easy to place on any sort of a table. You can place it vertically, you can place it horizontally, and of course, this keyboard can be adjusted in different ways as well. It comes with a bigger trackpad than the Magic Keyboard, and that's saying something for a device which is smaller than the iPad Air in its dimensions. Now, typing on this keyboard is almost identical to the Magic Keyboard. One advantage that it does have is it has this pair of function keys which gives you a very Windows-like experience, and that's what it's supposed to do. This is what Microsoft reckons will become your laptop replacement and can become your laptop replacement. Can it? Well, it's a yes and a no. It's a yes because if you want something that's ultra portable, durable, and actually affordable when you compare it to the other high-end options from Apple or even Samsung, well, it kind of is an interesting proposition because it gives you a PC or a laptop-like experience because of the software. Well, the restrictions that come about with using iPad OS is essentially the things that you miss out from the Mac OS ecosystem. But if you're a pro customer and you really want something which is a power driver for you, to do high-end editing, 4K playback, well then this might not be the option for you, because this is meant for casual browsing. If you want to watch some Netflix content, you can watch it on this particular device. Also, if you want to, well, browse the internet or catch up on your emails, of course, with Microsoft Outlook, it all becomes seamless in this mini ecosystem by Microsoft as well. But if you want the heavy hitting, this is not a device for you. Look, if you're on the market for a bigger laptop, of course there are better options. But if you're going in for this, then I'm guessing you want an ultra portable option. Well, I'll make it easier for you. If you're looking at the Surface Go 3 as an option or a replacement of the iPad Air with the Magic Keyboard, that means you're not necessarily tied down to the Apple ecosystem. That also means that you could save around 10 to 15K or maybe more on the Surface Go 3 along with the type cover keyboard. And that, for people who aren't Apple fanboys, can be a serious contender for an ultra portable option. Speaking of ultra portable options, the color accuracy and of course, well, the frame rate and the display is quite good for such a small laptop. Battery life, look, on these sort of form factors, I'm not expecting more than 9 to 10 hours of battery life, and it's been around that much as well. It charges quite fast, but it also drains just like the iPad. Now, if you're pitting this against the iPad, then you have to have some sort of a rival to the Apple Pencil. And Microsoft, giving them enough credit, have come up with their version of the Apple Pencil. But the only thing is that if you want to do complicated things on this particular display, I'm not quite sure this is going to be good enough for, well, illustrators or professionals or creative professionals trying to do things. But if you're taking down notes as a student or you're just doodling away, well, then this is good enough. Another thing that I really like about this, which is a game changer if you're living in this work from anywhere world, which all of us are, let's be honest, it really matters what the experience is like when we are on Zoom calls or, for them, Microsoft Teams calls. This becomes interesting because they have a very clear 1080p camera right here in the front, and it's not like, well, the iPad who places it in a vertical form. So every time on the iPad, you look sort of cockeyed because you're looking down out there, or it looks strange because your look goes to the wrong end of the camera when you're talking to people. So they always think you're not paying attention to them. Over there, it's kind of strange, but here they've placed it right in the center. So this is meant for this sort of horizontal mode, and it's quite clear. The color reproduction is fantastic. Well, it manages motion well as well. That's our Tech Today set, and I'm quite happy with this camera. This can be the ideal companion when you're working from home. You know, one of the biggest complaints from all of us in the tech community has been that Apple doesn't have a contender to its ecosystem yet. Google tried, they didn't succeed. Samsung has been trying, they've not really built a robust enough ecosystem. The Chinese brands are trying. Microsoft, if they got their mobile devices right, with this, there seems to be no problem. If you've been looking at all of those Apple fanboys with iPad Airs and Magic Keyboards, this as a combination is a worthy contender. In fact, I might even replace it for a while and actually give this a try. But if you're in the ecosystem, then of course, as always, Apple wins. Our verdict: we really hoped that Microsoft would build on these devices, and I know they've obviously recalibrated their priorities to the cloud business and the enterprise business. But if we saw more devices like this with top-end build quality and a fantastic operating system like Windows, maybe with slightly better performance specs, this could be something special for the future. Now, buying all these devices is not cheap. You need a lot of money. Can you use crypto to buy things? At this point, I don't know. But if you could, how would it happen? Apparently, it's happening somewhere in Delhi. Let's find out.
Tattoos, cryptocurrency. Tattoos and cryptocurrency, what do they have to do with each other? We'll tell you. Have you ever thought of paying for a tattoo with crypto? It's possible. And we're here at a place today to show you exactly how it's done. Come with us.
Devil's Tattoos, a Delhi-based tattoo studio, has started accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum and Cardano for its services. It's working with crypto exchange platforms like WazirX and Trust Wallet to accept these payments. And for Lokesh Verma, the founder of this tattoo studio, it all started with a sense of crypto FOMO.
I was talking to one of my friends here in the studio, and one of my client was overhearing us, and he asked me, "Do you guys accept cryptocurrency?" And that time we were not, but I was like, "Sure, we can." That client gave me the idea that we can accept cryptocurrencies, and then when I did the first time, I accepted some 40,000-50,000 rupees for 4 or 5 tattoos that this group of people have got it done. And within 2 months, those 40 or 50,000 rupees had become 80 or 90. Then I started looking more into it, what are the ways we can do it and other things about it. And then we started finally officially doing it.
Devil's Tattoos joins a list of restaurants, cafes and startups in metro cities cashing in on the crypto wave. But what's it really like to complete a crypto transaction using a crypto wallet?
Suppose I wanted to pay for a tattoo right now with crypto. How would I go about with it?
So it's as simple as taking and receiving payments like you use Google Pay or Paytm or UPI apps. So supposedly you have your cryptocurrency in an exchange or a wallet. So you can open that app wherever you have your cryptocurrency stored, and I will open my wallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we go into funds.
Yeah. And whichever crypto you want to pay, you have a list of cryptos. Say you want to pay in Tron. You can click on withdraw, and I will click on receive.
Okay.
And it will show a barcode like this, a QR code.
All right. And I scan that.
Simply scan that and put the amount that you want to put.
Okay.
So you can put the amount, yeah, proceed.
And that was done. It's literally as simple as withdrawing money from Google Pay or depositing money in Google Pay. Many of you have already started investing in crypto, and like we showed you today, there is one more thing you can do with that currency besides just trading. Today you could pay for your tattoo with crypto. Who knows, tomorrow you might be able to pay for your coffee.
Crypto, a complicated solution that makes your life a whole lot easier. Now, so much talk about crypto over the last few days here in India. We thought it's important to showcase real use cases and decode what crypto is all about for you on Tech Today. But that's not all. I told you this is a very special episode, a Christmas special, where we're joined by a very special guest.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है गौरव. आप देख रहे हैं टेक टुडे. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
गौरव भाई, I know you're the world's #1 tech YouTuber, पर टीवी तो हमारे लिए छोड़ दीजिए.
अरे जब YouTube है तो इंटरनेट पे है, इंटरनेट है तो टीवी भी इंटरनेट पे आ रहा है आजकल. तो मतलब सब कुछ तो कनेक्टेड है ना. मतलब इसमें क्या डिफरेंस रह गया है बाकी?
Absolutely, Gaurav. That's exactly what we want to do on Tech Today. Stay connected, be it TV, digital, print, business today, India today, the whole gamut. Thanks so much for joining us. And for those of you watching, Technical Guruji needs no introduction. The world's biggest tech YouTuber, columnist, and someone who changed the tech content game on YouTube forever. Gaurav, or shall I say Technical Guruji?
Gaurav is better.
What a fascinating journey you've had, Gaurav. You started off in 2015, consciously decided that Hindi mein content banana hai, and now you're the world's biggest tech YouTuber in 2021. What a journey. Does a lot of pressure come with that tag of being the world's biggest tech YouTuber?
See, honestly बोलूं तो I never planned for this. There was no plan that I'll start and I'll do this, that, and then eventually ऐसा हो जाएगा. There was no such plan. It was just कि let's do it and let's see what happens. The decision to choose Hindi was, of course, something well planned, because tech back in the days was mostly in English, and language was a huge barrier for someone to consume. If someone was to learn about technology, or if someone was to kind of learn about something new happening in the field of tech, he kind of has to have that kind of knowledge of English. But अभी जब मैंने हिंदी में किया, the idea was to reach to the masses कि it's just a communication bit कि अगर हम एक language barrier को खत्म कर दें तो how exactly can elevate the complete experience. तो ये thought था. After my masters जब मैंने खत्म किया 2015 में, तो I was like, okay, why not share some of the knowledge that I have got from my professors, और मैं उसको अगर masters तक पहुंचा दूं. And the idea was to just keep on making videos on a daily basis कि आज इसके बारे में, कल उसके बारे में, what all is happening around. And eventually, we saw the numbers growing up. It was a good journey after all. I mean, it's more than 6 years now. And today, when you talk about world's biggest, when you talk about this kind of almost 22 million on YouTube, Definitely there is a baggage in terms of the responsibility that is today in the kind of जो भी मैं वीडियोस बना रहा हूँ बेसिकली, तो इट हैज टू बी कि मुझे पता है कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ या नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, उन चीजों का कितना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट होता है, ऑफ ऑल द पीपल हु ट्रस्ट, ऑफ ऑल द पीपल हु काइंड ऑफ बिलीव इन व्हाट आई से. तो वो एक चीज है, मतलब इन द बिगिनिंग मे बी इट वाज वेरी कैजुअल फॉर मी टू डू व्हाटएवर. there was no such format कि मेरे को अपने आप को लिमिट करना है या सेंसर करना है times.
Right.
But eventually with time, when I see the numbers growing, that kind of becomes a huge responsibility, because I know a statement of mine can kind of make or break the market. तो वो थोड़ा सा हो जाता है.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because we started Tech Today to actually create credible tech content and tell that story in interesting ways. But I noticed that a lot of YouTubers have not necessarily been transparent about it. You see MKBHD and Mr. Who's the Boss on the global scale talking about it. Is it important for a tech reviewer, a tech blogger or a journalist to state that, well, this is a product review and this is purely editorial content? Yeah, ye dil se bana rahe hain and we're being honest about it. Isn't it important to distinguish for the consumer, for the viewer, between editorial content and marketing brand partnerships?
See, definitely zaruri hai. I mean, like for example, I have worked with multiple brands at times, and it's kind of good for the viewer to at least understand the kind of nature that is happening in the background. तो उसमें कोई problem नहीं है, but at the same time I would say, see, let's say you were given a review unit by a brand, for example. Now it is just a review unit. Now brand has not said anything to you, or like there's nothing else other than the transaction that's the like in the form of a review unit.
Correct.
Now if you reveal in full details, the end viewer sometimes is not able to understand ki bhai what happened behind the scenes. So at times I would say keeping it subtle is again good, because you would not want the user to kind of watch your content with a bias already in the mind. You get my point. I mean, you have to be transparent, but transparent in a way that it is kind of easily understandable to the viewer. उसको ये ना लगे कि ओके अगर रिव्यू यूनिट मिल गया तो फिर तो अब इसने फोन के बारे में सब कुछ अच्छा ही बोल दिया होगा, मे बी ही इज टॉकिंग ऑल गुड अबाउट द प्रोडक्ट, बिकॉज इट इज जस्ट अ रिव्यू यूनिट दैट रियली डजंट मैटर एनीथिंग. सो वो एक पॉइंट है, बट आई मीन ऑडियंस इन इंडिया अगेन नीड्स टू काइंड ऑफ मैच्योर, बिकॉज अभी के लिए जो है इट इज वेरी इन द इनिशियल स्टेजेस दैट वी आर सीइंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स हैपनिंग अराउंड इन इंडिया. सो बट इवेंचुअली आई थिंक we'll reach a point wherein it will be quite clear and quite obvious in terms of the creator and the viewer to understand what happens and how exactly it happens.
You have so many young people who watch your videos here in India, millions of them, and you're an inspiration for so many. I thought I'd get your take on what your journey was like, and especially that change from living here in a small town in India to making it big in Dubai, that change in lifestyle, becoming this big social media personality. And was there one particular moment that was a real game changer, a watershed moment for Technical Guruji?
I mean, there was not really a game changer or a turning point, I would say, in my journey, because it has all been kind of eventually one after the other. And even today, it is not something that I do full time. It is still a hobby that I pursue. So, I mean, after my studies, there was a gap and I started YouTube as a hobby. Even today, it remains as a hobby. So, I mean, like I have made more than 4,000 videos. So, I can't say that, okay, after this 100th video was the time when I was noticed and all. ऐसा कभी हुआ ही नहीं, because see, like in the world of content creation, if you talk about YouTube or Facebook or whatever, the journey is always kind of, exponential. So, initially, maybe you would work very hard, but after a point, and then you will see the exponential growth. But that point you can't really figure out कि किसके बाद वो हुआ है, because it is the result of all those previous videos or all those previous years of hard work that you have done. So I mean, for example, it took me almost 1 year to reach let's say 500,000 subscribers for the first 1 year, and then there were times wherein I would gain like 5 million in 1 year. So the journey was kind of very exponential, and it was like like things just fell into place one after the other. And eventually, now if I look back, it's all I mean just surreal that even I can't figure out of a certain point कि इसके बाद ऐसा कुछ हो गया है. But I understand that today it has reached to this level wherein someone would definitely want to do it full time. But considering I have other things going on, considering I have my family business, my own other things in Dubai, so YouTube is something that I want to keep as a hobby, because if it's a hobby, I would give in my 100%, because I know that this is something that I love to do. if I would do it as a full-time thing, maybe I would not be able to do proper justice, because I would just do it because I just want to earn money, let's say. So like keeping it hobby keeps it much more close to my heart, that okay, this is something that I love to do.
Gaurav Chaudhary, Technical Guruji, what an absolute pleasure speaking with you on Tech Today. Thanks so much for joining us on this special episode. And it's been a special episode because you've stayed tuned in and have been writing to us, and we thought we'll keep the festive spirit going by coming to you and getting your wish list for Christmas. This is your host Ayush signing off. Adios, and wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Okay. Hi guys. Well, here we are once again at the end of the year. It's officially time for us to introspect and ask ourselves, have we been naughty or nice? And what do we want the most from Santa this Christmas? Well, I'm going to walk around and find out what's at the top of people's tech wish list this holiday season. Let's go.
I want a sport car.
Smart. This guy's talking.
Car would be a great deal for me because I'm looking for a car, buying a car for my family and friends.
It's iWatch for me.
What do you use the watch for?
Because of digital, I don't want to scroll my phone, so it's notification on my hand. So that's why I prefer for iWatch.
True, you're a very smart and very efficient girl, I think. Which sports car?
It must be a Ducati. Or else a Silver Arrow of Mercedes.
Probably have a really powerful gaming laptop like Zephyrus Duo.
Okay, so which car would you like ideally?
Tata is the best deal. So Tiago or the Punch, which has just recently been launched. So that is the pick for me.
I'll ask for my new phone, my new dream phone, which is OnePlus Nord, I guess.
If you could ask Santa for any one gadget from the year 2021 for Christmas, what would it be?
Headphones probably.
Headphones? Which one?
Philips.
Powerful gaming PC, like video games, and that's it.
I can tell why you guys are good friends, huh? You all have the same mindset. Okay guys, I have one quick question for you. You know, it's about to be Christmas season. If you could ask Santa for one gift, one piece of technology from this year 2021, what would it be?
I would ask for an electric walker because it's for the people who are like physically handicapped, and even for our exercise, or even when at times we are lazy to walk on our own legs, so it would be good.
Apple phone?
Laptop.
Apple. I would like to have some electric AirPods. Like, I'm fed up of using those wired earphones, and I am a bit too lazy to get up and do the thing, so I would like to listen to using earpods.
Well, that's quite a tall order for the hottest tech of the year. I hope Santa's sleigh is big enough. I wonder what would make it to the top of my wish list. Well, until I figure it out, why don't you guys write in and tell us what's on your Gizmo wish list this Christmas? You can reach out to us on our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages. Have a great festive season.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.